thing. My camera's right there, so I'm going to be looking off to the side a little bit. I'm going to try not to do that too much, but this is where we're at. So, and I also have another monitor over here that I'm watching. Doing this live off my phone. Um, Service isn't the greatest, so bear with me. Trying to get this other monitor set up. I'm just waiting. Gonna wait to see if anybody joins in. I don't know if anybody's going to or not. Um, just waiting. This is gonna be weird. Okay. So, if you're joining this after the fact, you might skip ahead. I don't know how far you might want to skip ahead, but yeah, I'm just waiting for more people to join in. If you are jumping in here and you're watching, please leave a comment. That way I know who's watching and how many are have an idea of how many are watching, because Google YouTube's sometimes inaccurate, and I'd like to know who I'm talking to sometimes. So we're gonna give it another minute or so, see if anybody else jumps in here. I do want your guys' feedback. So if you can chat, that'd be tops. That'd be tops in my book. Again, I'm doing this with my phone. I have a couple monitors that I'm like my phone I'm looking at. Then I have a monitor over here. Uh, Nobody can see questions, but I do want you guys, if you're able to chat, please chat. I like the feedback. Um, we're going to talk a little bit about paranormal studies. Um, I'm going to get into the Kickstarter that I have up for it, as well as why the Kickstarter and what the idea is, what the goal is, and the plan and everything. I'm going to go through that with everybody. That way, there's no questions about. Well, I can answer any questions about the show, about you know what what's going to happen, um, and all that. So I see it shows me that there's two people watching. So I mean that's a start, right? Who they are, I have no idea. They don't tell me that. So hello and welcome. And it is a little late for Monday, you know. Uh, get my tea and caffeine. We're almost 4 minutes in already on this live stream. I don't think anybody else is really going to show up because this channel's been buried by YouTube's algorithms so harshly. Um, yeah. So we'll just dive into it. So if you're curious about what paranormal studies is, if you didn't watch the watch party that I did Saturday, then you kind of missed out on. You didn't totally miss out, but you kind of missed out on what is up. Um, the watch party was the two pilot episodes that I've shot. I shot a pilot episode back in 2016, and then in 2019. Um, and those I did shop around a little bit to network. I went through the Discovery portal to try to shop that around and everything. But um, we're going to go back to the beginning, where the idea came from. What is the idea behind paranormal studies? And I'm okay talking about it because I have the treatment copywritten, the show idea, all that stuff is all copywritten. So like if somebody tries to steal it, Okay. So here we go. So back in, I want to say 2016 ish, um, I've been filming haunting history for a year or two. Um, and at that time, there was starting to be this explosion of paranormal shows on TV, paranormal shows on YouTube, I guess. And one of the things about that was like these shows were all the same. They were the same formula. It was the same cookie cutter mold where they go to a house, they talk to somebody about the house or location, and then they investigate, and that's it. There wasn't really anything about these shows that really kind of pushed the envelope or pushed things forward. Hey, Susan. There wasn't really anything that stood out about these shows. Now, granted, there was like shows like Ghost Adventures. They had really good cinematography. Um, there's some things they did try some things. If anything, I'll give Ghost Adventures a little bit of credit. They were probably a little more diverse about trying things than most shows, but everybody was still doing the same thing. They were just investigating locations, um, and it got really stagnant. So around 2016, I started thinking about, do I want to continue doing haunting history, and if I wanted to continue doing the paranormal like reality stuff, how can we make something new, something that people have been asking for and wanting to see in a paranormal show? How could I do that and bring that to the forefront without compromising anything? And then the idea for paranormal studies really kind of came about there. The idea for me was we have all these theories in the paranormal community, in the paranormal field. Things like, does running water really affect a haunting? What about gravitational pull, moon cycles, lunar cycles, and the witching hour, and all this other stuff? Like, what affects paranormal activity? And these are questions. We all have these questions. We all think about this stuff. We discuss it amongst ourselves. We discuss it on podcasts. But does anybody actually investigate it? No. Hello, Julie. Welcome to the shit show. Welcome to the Paranormal Studies Talk. Um, but all these thoughts and theories, we all discuss it amongst ourselves in our groups, in our little communities, our Facebook groups, and stuff like that. We all discuss this stuff. And another thing was like I was meeting a lot of people who were doing experimentation in the field, whether it was psychological or with equipment or what have you. And of course, doing my podcast as well at the time, I've met a lot of psychics. I've talked to a lot of psychic mediums who claimed one thing, and I'm not big on psychics. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just cautious when it comes to people claiming to be psychic. That's a good way to put it. So all these factors, that these are all things that just noodled in my head for a long time. And in 2016, I decided, I'm speaking at the Kansas City Paracon. Malvern Manor was only 2 hours away. I decided that, after the Paracon, I was going to go to Malvern Manor by myself, conduct an experiment, and film it. And which you guys can see on the last video, the watch party video. Now, the psychic I had in that video, I vetted her. She was amazing. She was amazing in that video. She was amazing before that video too. The things, I tried to throw her for a loop, and she like jumped every hurdle. It was immaculate. It was pretty crazy. So that's how we ended up linking up. Anyway, so in 2016, I'm at the Paracon. I run into Rick Rose. I actually had talked him into coming down from Ohio and joining the Paracon and visiting everybody because he had a lot of friends there. I told him what I was doing. I didn't tell a lot of people, but Rick and I we've been friends. He was into filming. I was into filming. I let him know what I was planning on doing. He loved the idea, and he wanted to come out and be my cameraman. And I said, sure, I think that'd be great. And then on the way there, I was like, you know what? This guy's going to be part of the experiment. And I didn't tell him, and I didn't tell the psychic. And until we got there, when we got there, that's when I dropped the bomb on him. That way, because he couldn't go anywhere after he got there. He was stuck with me. So we did the show, we did the video and everything. After putting it together, tried to shop it. And like I said, I'm part of the Discovery Portal, which is it's a network for producers who are linked to Discovery Channel, Discovery Plus, for producers and production companies to submit ideas and shows and things like that. And I went through there, and then I talked to some friends that I had with Gravitas. Talked to a friend over with Gravitas, which, if you're not familiar with Gravitas, it's a company that distributes films and stuff like that for Netflix and Hulu. But the thing I got back, the feedback I got back was, this is awesome, but there's a problem. All these networks had a formula to their paranormal shows, and they don't want to divert from those formulas, and especially with a show like this, where this would end up causing more questions than showing like scary stuff or spooking people or anything like that. It was more scientific than what they wanted to do. The idea was, and I tried to reassure them that this has still got entertainment value, even though I'm not faking anything, nothing's being altered in any way. There's still entertainment value in there because people have curiosities towards this thing. But it got shot down nonetheless. And so I shelved it. I shelved the idea, and I sat on it for about 3 years. And it was, I'm trying to think if it was, yeah, I think it was 2019 that I wanted to give it another shot. I wanted to shoot another pilot and shoot it better than I did the last one, with a little more control. And I used a different idea behind the experiment. And I reached out to Dan Williams, who is the head of the Paranormal Research Institute out of Illinois. And I told him my idea. We fleshed some things out. And then we, again, at the Kansas City Paracon in 2019, we decided to film that weekend, which was pretty exhausting. We were up during the day at the Paracon because I was a vendor and speaker, and so I had to be there at the Paracon. And then after the Paracon, we went and filmed. Went back to the Paracon the next day, filmed that next night, and then back to the Paracon the following day. So it was just crazy. But you know, I thought we did an amazing job with it. I thought we kind of clarified a little bit more of what the show is going to be like going down the road here. What's up, Bloodline? Oh, gee. So once the video was put together, again, through the producers portal of Discovery, I decided to try to push this idea. Is everyone there? In the chat? I don't know. The chat's kind of quiet. They're kind of listening, I guess, to this whole spiel that I'm doing. So anyway, I went through the producers portal, tried to push this there again. I'd made at this time I had made some more friends that are in the entertainment industry. I still have some contacts out in LA, because at this time, a little bit before this time, I had been contacted to be on the second rendition of Ghost Hunters. The first producer I talked to, we hit it off. We were good. Second producer, not so much, because he was wanting me to fake crap and overreact to shit, and I am not about that. And I told him that, and so I didn't get the final cut. Um, so I still kept some of those contacts. I've had some contacts from some other production companies and stuff like that that I just wanted to utilize at some point. You never know when it comes in handy. So I reached out to everybody I could. Again, the same kind of story I was hit with was, this is great, love the idea, but it doesn't fit into the mold of what all the networks are doing, and it doesn't fit into that formula. And you know, at this point, like with the show, it's you get pretty. I don't want to say humbled, but you learn to accept it. You kind of get disappointed, but you accept it, and you realize just what the networks and the production companies and everything, what they want to push, the narrative they want to push with the paranormal field. And you know, you could go different ways at that stage. It was 2000, beginning of 2020. There was ways I could put stuff out there through YouTube. Um, but the thing is, like, we didn't have the funding to do a full season. Um, we raised the money to do the second pilot. We raised a little bit of money to do the second pilot, and you know, putting it on YouTube, that just means, like, I would have had to fund everything, and I'm not rich. I'm not loaded. We were actually looking for funding from these networks to help us produce this show, and that just didn't happen. Um, there's been other projects where I try to do some crowdfunding, and I've noticed a trend over the years with crowdfunding. I've noticed a trend. It's hard to raise money in the paranormal field. You're a celebrity. If you have a great idea, and the people that have seen the pilots, again, you can watch the pilots. I just like they've been on the channel, but I just did a watch party on Saturday where you could see both of the pilots. Everybody that's seen it loves the idea behind it. And the idea is this: with the show, Paranormal Studies, our goal was to take these theories, these experiments, the ideas, the things that we talk about to each other on podcasts, in group chats, in Facebook groups, on investigations, all these ideas and experiments. I wanted to focus on them, and I wanted to test them and see if they are relevant to the paranormal community or to the field. The experiments, I wanted to see if they work, if there is something to it. And I wasn't, and not only was it going to be, testing them in field, but I actually wanted to incorporate science into it a lot more. I wanted to go, I plan, and I still plan on doing this, talking to professors at universities, people that are knowledgeable in select fields that relate to the subject matter of each episode. And I want to clarify things like, does running water near a location help fuel paranormal activity? What's the science behind that? That's something that we want to get into. Um, Psychics. There's an episode I wanted to do that was a psychic challenge, kind of like a game show almost, where they compete against each other. There's different things that I want to do. I have like 2 seasons worth of ideas that I want to test and run, and the but the community The paranormal community, I don't know what it is. Like I said, you're not a celebrity, you don't get backed. No, the support's there. The verbal support is there. The financial support is not, unless you're famous. And I could cite some I guess recent, like with Jason Hawes. He's raised almost $400,000 to buy a house that none of you are going to own. Nobody's going to own except for him, and he's still going to charge money. So he's going to be, you know, um, the people that donated are still going to have to pay to go to it. Um, Project Fear was a really good one. And this is no dig at anybody in particular. I'm not digging at Jason Hawes for doing this because that was a great idea. Um, and I'm not digging at Project Fear for this, but Project Fear, after Destination Fear lost their show on Discovery, they went to YouTube. But before they went to YouTube, they did a Kickstarter, and they raised close to $400,000. I think it was $389,000 to put out YouTube videos, to continue their show and put it on YouTube. They had the following. That's why they're famous. They have the following, so that's why they were able to do so. But because of that, they've at this point in time they've put out 41 episodes. I say 41 episodes because what they do is a two-parter at each location. So like they have the investigation for one video and then the sleeping part for the second video. So they're doubling up. So I'm not counting the double ups or the second part. So I'm just counting the main locations. But they have 40 of them. And at the amount that they've raised, that's around $10,000 per video that they spent. I'll let you figure that out. Now, will they put out more videos? Yeah, probably. Absolutely. But here's the kicker. If they're monetized on YouTube, they're making all that money back and then some. Just saying. YouTube can be lucrative. And they have the following to do that, and their videos get the views. So, on them, like I said, it's not a dig at them. I'm just pointing out stats. Well, the clicks, yeah, you want your stuff seen. Especially on YouTube, I know a lot of people shit on YouTubers. I do from time to time, kind of an a-hole about it sometimes, but I get it. That's the thing. I get it. I understand it. Because if you can do this on YouTube full time, if you can ghost hunt on YouTube full time, why wouldn't you? To get to that level where to make enough where you're not having to work a full-time job and then try to do the YouTube thing. I mean, I'll be completely transparent here. I had a video recently, back in November, that last I saw was like 86,000 views, and that made me almost $1,000. So if they're doing that constantly, at least 4 times a month, there's $4,000 a month. But a lot of these channels, or not a lot, some of these channels are hitting the 300,000 view mark. And so, well, shit, even Paranormal Files, I know his Missouri State Penn video is over 1.2 million views. So do the math on that. Big boys, what's going on, man? And I know his view count on that video because he and I had at it because he used my footage in that video. Yeah. So getting back to paranormal studies. So 2019 was the last time we filmed that second pilot. Try to push around the beginning and middle of 2020. No success. So then it got shelved again. It got shelved for 6 years. 6 years at this point. So just a couple days ago, I did the watch party on this channel. I did the Paranormal Studies watch party, which you guys can view after this if you want. Um, with that watch party, I felt compelled to try this again. This show, I have a clear path of for this show. The one of the deciding factors for me was, I to be 100% honest with you guys, I've really been struggling with whether or not I want to continue filming paranormal stuff, filming for the YouTube channel, or just doing anything paranormal. In fact, I've turned down some of the events for this next year, speaking engagements and things of that nature. I've turned down appearances and all that. Not that I'm super famous or anything. It's just there's some people that like to hear what I have to say. Um, I have been deciding or teetering on that fence, of whether or not I want to continue to do this. But something came to me. Um, with Rick Rose was with me in the first video. Rick was a great friend, and if you don't know, Rick had passed away from COVID years ago, about 5 years ago, and I always felt like he was a part of this in some shape or form. I mean, yeah, he was in the first video, but something about this, like, I felt I owed it to him to try it one more time, to give it another shot. I owe it to him. He wouldn't let me quit. I know he wouldn't. So I'm like, damn it, we're gonna do this. We're gonna set up a Kickstarter. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I ended up setting up a Kickstarter. It went live 2 days ago. So if you guys are watching and you want to contribute to Paranormal Studies, there's a link in the description for the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is an all or nothing Kickstarter campaign. If it doesn't reach its goal, you guys get your money back. Plain and simple. If it does reach its goal, filming, baby. The goal with the Kickstarter, with this money that I'm raising, is to shoot 8 episodes. That's less than $2,000 per episode. In comparison to some of the others that I mentioned. It's going to be 8 episodes, unless I can squeeze out a little more. I'm planning on putting it out there where everybody can view it. It's going to go on Amazon Prime. It's going to go on to, I'm going to try to get it onto Tubi. I can put it on Dark Realm, Play Now Media, which I've done in the past with some haunting history videos, which, it gets a lot of views. And then I can also throw it here on YouTube. I can throw it on Rumble. There's a lot of outlets for it. I want everybody to be able to see it, because for me, it's not just about the paranormal. It's about research. It's about bringing back what's been missing. I think everybody's pretty well tired of watching everybody run around in the dark, getting scared. And half the time, I don't even think they're in the dark, because the infrared lighting is way too good. But we're all tired of the same shit. We really are. I don't think anybody's out there sharing the information, though, about new ideas and things. And I think this show could do that. I think this show could give people a direction, a new, maybe it could help people figure out how to investigate, or how they should investigate or want to investigate. I think it'll clear up things like, screaming, dude, bro, run! Oh my God, it's a demon! I just got scratched! Oh, yeah. But there's a lot of shit out there. The paranormal community is tired of this stuff, and nobody wants to share the information. There's a lot of gatekeeping in the paranormal. Raise your hand if you've seen it. I've seen it a lot. There's a lot of gatekeeping, whether it's the location, whether that's ideas, equipment. Um, I'm all about showing people equipment or ideas and stuff like that. In fact, if somebody has a great piece of equipment and I've used it and tried it, I'll let you guys know. If you follow this channel, if you've watched all the videos, not just a couple, but all of them, then you know. Um, I've put out I've put out some content that shows other people's equipment. The microcoms that I use, those are built by KD Stafford, Supernatural Inc. I tell everybody, go check them out, order them. Those microcoms are awesome. Um, I recently came across an easy piece of equipment that is more foolproof than EMF detectors, and it still lights up. It still makes noise. I've never gotten it to do it all by itself. So I know radios won't set it off. I know cell phones won't set it off, and all this. You have to complete a circuit to do it. Anyway, um, I love sharing this information. I love that people get to learn and think of new ways to investigate. You know, I know Susan has seen my presentations. Um, I talk about, you know, the fourth dimension. I talk about how perception in the paranormal. I didn't forget about your Susan. I was actually thinking about that today. Um, I still have it set aside. It's in a box with all your other stuff. Um, but I talk about different things that people don't normally talk about within the paranormal community. Try to get people to think about new ways of looking at the paranormal, how to perceive it, how to view it, and then when we know how to view it, or we have a different idea how to view it, we can attack those ways, those viewpoints into like new experiments. And you know, I ran the Midwest Mystery Tour. The Midwest Mystery Tour, I conducted experiments and involved the guests. The guests got to participate in the experiments. Um, and that's something, like I said, it's just missing. It's the experimentation of the paranormal field is missing. It's a copycat league, guys. Somebody comes out with a cat ball, everybody else has got to have a cat ball. I can't tell you how many people just basically buy a piece of equipment because somebody used it. Zach Bagans. But that's what I want to do with paranormal studies. I want to bring these. Gateway of the Galaxy. I9. I want to bring these experiments. I want to bring ideas to you guys. I want to not just like a few people at a time. I want to bring it to everybody. I'm basically paranormal studies is the Midwest Mystery Tour on video. That's basically what it is. For those of you that have been to the Midwest Mystery Tour, any of my events, you know what I'm talking about. It's basically that on a grander scale, and more variety. But again, to be able to do this, I have to raise the funds. I can't afford to do this all by myself, which is why I need you guys. If you can't, help back the Kickstarter, then please share. I can't ask that enough. Sharing it and letting people know, hey, I'm sharing this with you because this is a great concept. This is a great idea, and this is exactly what we need. He's looking for, anybody that is willing to back it. And there are rewards on the Kickstarter. Everything. And let me also put this out there, because I've talked about the streaming platforms. I've talked about putting it on Amazon Prime. Everybody that does contribute, everybody that contributes is going to get free early access to the show. Well, look who decided to join in, Cassie. She's missed You've missed a half hour of my ramblings. I got to take a drink. So the Kickstarter ends on March 1st. There's we have less than 30 days to raise the funds. And if you are one of those people that like see how many have donated and you back off, you're like, oh no, nobody's contributing. Please just contribute. If it doesn't go through, you get your money back. But also, I want everybody to be aware of something that I just found out because I didn't know this was going on. So in Kickstarter, there's these kind of scams that are going on where they will back a project with like $500, and then they'll contact you through email, trying to get you to use some service they have to get your stuff out there. And then if you tell them no, they pull their backing. It's so fucked. I'll say that on YouTube. It's so messed up. So like in like a less than 24-hour period, I went from having about $1,500 already to down to $200 on the thing. So it is what it is. Such a bunch of shit. More stuff to deal with. But so let me talk about the time frame that I'm wanting to shoot. Should we raise the funds? My goal is to start shooting by spring. With springtime, people can travel around. I do want to try to have it all finished, at least the filming, having it done by the end of summer. That'll give me the fall to edit and hopefully get it put out by winter. Now, filming multiple episodes and getting them put out, it takes a while, especially like I work, so I have to do that as well. I will probably be seeking some outside help with editing, so that might speed things up. Where are the funds going is probably the hugest question anybody's probably thinking about. The funds go to every aspect of this project. Everything from equipment to travel, lodging, to working with guests. Sometimes some people want to will have to travel to do their interviews and do some experiments. So we've got to be able to compensate them to use their equipment. I know a lot of builders, they tend to rent out their equipment, so we might have to do that from time to time. And then also post production, all that. Like I said, if I bring in a editing squad, they've got to be paid and compensated. And then also there's marketing that's going to have to happen. There's a lot of things, a lot of aspects to a project like this. A lot of people don't really not that they don't understand, they just don't realize that how much is actually going into something like this. So in every aspect, it's all getting spread out. So when it boils down to, I mean, shit, these episodes might cost less than $2,000 per episode, or less than what I initially said or thought of. Yeah, but I think we can do this. I honestly think this is a totally attainable, figure. $15,000, 8 episodes. It's totally doable. If Jason Hawes could raise almost $400,000 for him to buy a house, and Project Fear can raise almost $400,000 to do YouTube videos, we can do 15, right? Right? Para-Unity? What? No, I'm screaming Para-Unity. I know. I see the hypocrisy in it. Anybody that knows me knows that I believe there's no Para-Unity, no paranormal unity at all. There's just people being people. That's it. But that being said, people still have kindness in their heart, and don't forget that. Oh man, I feel like I talked forever. It's 40 minutes. I could have just stayed booked for some Paracons and talked about my crowdfunding. Um, so at this point, that's my main focus right now is paranormal studies. I do have something that I'm still planning on doing this year when the weather gets nicer. I still will. I do plan on doing a live stream investigation uh, as a fundraiser for some cemetery. Ooh, if you guys have seen that live video where I went cemetery hopping, found a cemetery that the headstones were pretty well busted up, needed some taken care of, and I want to do a fundraiser for them, and I talked to the people that take care of that cemetery, and she sent me some emails with naming the people that were buried there and some information about some of those people. Some of them from Civil War, some of them after the Civil War, and that information I want to share in the live stream whenever that comes up. But that's going to be when it gets warmer. So if anybody's wondering about that, we're just kind of taking our time there. Um, but right now, like I said, my main focus paranormal studies. This is basically my last little go at the paranormal. Um, this is my last go here, guys. If this gets if paranormal studies does happen, if it is successful, guys, I'm obviously gonna stick around in the paranormal. But if it's not, I'm just done. I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm just done. It's hard. It's hard to make videos. It's hard to try to try to maintain all this while maintaining a family life and working all the time and all that stuff. So I want to give you guys my best, and that's what I plan to do. Um, I do. That's something. Oh yeah, I was gonna let you guys know too. If should we raise more than the 15,000, if we raise more, depending on where we land, um, I'm either gonna use the extra money to film extra episodes, or I might do a documentary for you guys, and that would land right here on YouTube. Um, and everybody that donates, if we land up there, I'm gonna put everybody's name in the credits. Whether you know whether it was like $25 or not, everybody's name would go in that contributed. Um, so yeah, I also wanted to mention as far as the guests go, because I've been asked this once already, and I want to make sure I am a little more clearer about the guest thing. So when I say guests for the show, you know, obviously I'm going to, like I said earlier, I am going to talk to uh, people from different colleges who specialize in certain fields, scientists. Um, I'm obviously going to talk to them, interview them, but I'm also going to be bringing in people that are involved in the paranormal field, some people that you might know. There's going to be some people you don't know. Just some of the people that I've met that have great minds that are of the experimental, you know, niche of the paranormal. Some people that have something to bring to the table. Um, like I said, some of them you'll recognize, some of them you won't. Um, but that's something else I needed to cover. So if anybody has any questions at this time, floor is yours. Throw it in the chat. If you have questions about the project, throw it in there. I will be open and honest and answer whatever you guys are are thinking about. Leave it up to you guys. I'm just gonna sit here and drink my tea. I think if you ever drink tea, you should just start saying tea. So you sound a little southern. Mm-mm-mm. Now that's some real sweet tea. No questions. Bizarre. How can we get the word out the best? Well, the way you word messages, if you're sharing this to like a single individual, the way you word it to somebody is very important. So, like if you're sharing it, say, hey, this is a really awesome project that's looking for funding. You should check this out. If you like it, help them out. But sharing it is a really great way to get that out there. You could sharing a link on Facebook is damn near uh, pointless because Facebook buries links. So if you're gonna post about it on Facebook, what a lot of people, a lot of companies do is they will, like especially magazines, like they'll post the article or they'll post a little teaser, and then in the comment section they'll post a link for the article. So that's how you would best share the links, is to just post a picture, be like, hey, here's a really cool, in the comments is a really cool uh, concept that's being worked on. Check out the Kickstarter in the comments. And then post a link in the comments, in your own comments. That's been the best so far that I've found. Let's see. Will you hit up podcast to talk about it? I'll share all that too. That is something I'm planning on doing. I'm reaching out to some podcasters, some shows, and seeing if I can't squeeze on there. Problem is, a lot of them will already have guests scheduled, so it's going to be hard to, kind of get out there. But I'm working on it. Please tell me you're not considering any affiliation with Frankie in this endeavor. No, I am not. I have distanced myself, so, and in fact, yeah, yeah, I've distanced. I actually started distancing a little bit before all of that crap. Um, let's see here. Again, guys, if you want to contribute, the link is in the description. If you haven't seen the episodes, the pilot episodes that I filmed many moons ago, um, the last video I did, the streaming, the premiere watch party, um, they're both on there. It's all in one video, so you can check those out. I I thought about, somebody asked me if I would ever do the first one again, like the way I did the sensory deprivation with the psychic and all that. If I would ever do that again, I'm like, hell yeah, I would. I At this point, and we'll have to see if we get the funding first, but I do want to go back to Malvern because it's been so damn active over the last 6 months. I've been watching some of Josh's live streams. It has been so active lately. I don't know what's caused it to be so active, but it just is. So yeah. The other thing is too, what's great about not having to raise like a buku amount of money. I mean, 15,000 is nothing to sneer at, but like the good thing about not having to raise like $100,000 or something is, like, I can cut corners. I I have my connections, so like whenever I have to film at a location, I can save some money there because I know some people. Um, so I have some ways of saving money to make that can help make this show better. So that's a good thing. Um, yeah, everybody needs a chance. That's all I'm saying. I just need mine. Just give me the chance to make something great. Everyone gets tied to a chair and blindfolded. Well, Cassie, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to need my cuffs back. Anybody else have any more questions? Like I said, the March 1st is the deadline for the Kickstarter. So we basically have the month of February to do this, to try to raise this. So um, one way you could also share it that I'm thinking about is if you know somebody that would contribute, um, you could actually say like family members. I'm going to start reaching out to my personal family members and be like, hey, if you've got $25, you could spare, put it in this Kickstarter. You get something out of it, but you know you'll be helping family or you'll be helping me. So like what you could do with your family members is be like, hey, if you got a spare $25, save you a couple coffees from Starbucks, and just donate it. But there's also a donation button where you don't have to get a reward. So if you don't want rewards or anything, you can donate like $5 or $10. That's on there. There's a little space on there where you can do that. But I do encourage everybody to get the rewards. I did put on there like one of the rewards. I normally I don't put these so high, but there is $1,000 tier. So if somebody donated $1,000, they could claim a reward where they can go on an investigation with me. There's also a tier where you can be part of the episode, part of an episode with me. So there's that as well. If anybody wants to go ghost hunting, do some filming, and be part of the show, there's a tier for that. Um, but one of the cooler, I think, for me personally, one of the cooler rewards that's on there is a personal thank you postcard from me, which it's handwritten. It'll be handwritten, so you'll have my signature on there as well. If this blew up and I became like mega famous, like Elon Musk, just not in those files. But if I get super famous, you have a letter from me. I think that's just cool. I feel it's more personal when somebody writes you a letter as opposed to just getting a text or a paper that's typed up. Now, I'm going to warn everybody, my handwriting is not the best. My handwriting is pretty awful. But it's not terrible. It's legible. As long as you can read crayon. If I had $1,000 for every time somebody asked me for $1,000, I'd have $1,000. Yes, precious, precious. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything I need to that I could think of to really add. I hope this clarified a lot of things for you guys about paranormal studies, what I'm looking to do with it, where it's going to be, how you can see it, um, what the show is about. I guess I've always just had that mindset that if you're going to be in the paranormal field, you need to do something that's going to benefit the paranormal field at some point. I've tried to do tip videos a long time ago. They're still on the channel too. If you want to see a not grayed out me, it's on the channel. But I did some tip videos, and I know there's some people that liked them. They didn't get a lot of views. It's whatever. But I do like trying to get people to think outside the box. Think of new ways, guys. Think of new things. Like I said, if we raise more than 15, I've got 2 to 3 seasons worth of ideas noodling around up in this brain. So let's hope I don't get in a car accident and forget everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. I hope I can get some support. I think everybody says that. They're like, "Oh, it's baby day." I'm okay with that. I might, I just might. If I'll tell you what is today? Today is, let me see if I can do this without knocking my phone over. That's pulling up chat. What is today? The second. Okay. So today's the second. Last time I looked, taking the scam bots out of there. I got them all out of there. We're at $200 last time I looked. If we were to hit by Valentine's Day, by the end of Valentine's Day, if we were to hit, we get halfway to our goal, which Valentine's Day would be the halfway point. If we're halfway to our goal at the halfway point, I will go baby face for you guys. I will shave all this off of my face. I will either do a live stream or I will make a video for you guys. I will go somewhere and make a video for you guys, and I will be completely bald face. This looks like a mess right now. Look at that. I even got the neck beard going. Or if you like the beard, I could shave all this off and grow my neck beard out. I've done that once, and I'm not afraid to do it. Just grow out this and shave the rest. I've done it. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. But I'm putting it out there. If we get halfway to our goal by the halfway point, I will more than certainly, I will go babyface or something. I'll do something special for you guys. Because honestly, like I've done some other crowdfunding that wasn't so successful because apparently anytime I do crowdfunding, Facebook on my old account would ban me on Facebook for something stupid from 20 years ago or whatever. So I never really got a chance to do a lot of crowdfunding. So right now I'm trying to be as good as I can on Facebook so I don't get banned, so I can reach more people. So if we, like I said, if we even got to the halfway point, I would just be excited and I would just be pleased. Because if we hit that halfway point and I don't make it, still don't make it, at least I got to the halfway point. All right, Cassie. Go to bed. We will see you soon, hon. But yeah. That's all I got to say. I don't know if anybody else has any more questions about it or anything else. If not, here in the next 2 minutes, I'm probably going to end this live stream. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Michael? Weak. Handlebars in the house. Hey, if I don't go bald, you know what I could do? Just shave off this part of the beard and then grow the mutton chops. Like the like back in the 1700s, and that'd be kind of cool. I would actually kind of dig that probably. I don't know, I have a small chin, so like it might look like it might look weird. But I would do it. And I would keep it for a while. All right, guys. Well, like I said, hope that clarified everything. Shave half, leave the other. That might be tricky. I would probably get, dude, what are you trying to like be half man, half girl? Then I would have to do it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I could do what Project Fear does in the show and just kind of like leave a hidden object, make you guys have to watch the show like 20 or 30 times just try to find it to win a prize. Or I do really, something I want to think about, put a little more thought into the idea has crossed my mind to do something in the episodes that allows the viewer to kind of be involved in some way. Like I never found a damn duck. Put your glasses on, then you can see. But I really wanted to. I want to figure out a way to get viewers involved in the show. And I do this with haunting history, but I don't know if it would work for. I don't know if it would work for paranormal studies, but with haunting history, sometimes I leave pieces of evidence in the episodes and don't even say anything about it, just to see if anybody catches it. Sometimes people catch it, but for the most part, they don't. Which makes me feel bad because now I want to go back and be like, oh, there's this evidence, and then there's this, and yeah, crazy. Um, but I don't know. I feel like there'd be something. There should be something for the viewer, some way to get involved, where especially with a more scientific type show, where it's not always ghost hunting and it's you get to the 14th. If you get to the halfway by the 14th, you have to wear a Rams hat till March. Till March? Oh, wait. That's just 2 weeks. Why a Rams hat? The Rams aren't even in the Super Bowl. I'm a Bears fan. Rams aren't my nemesis, so I mean, that's not too bad. Who's going to hat? I have questions. I have a bigger monitor over there. It's easier to see. That's why I'm like, if you see me going like this over here, that's why. Yeah, but I'm not mad at them. The Bears beat the Bears. That's what I'll say. The Bears beat the Bears. We could have won that game. We could have won that game. Had the interceptions not been thrown, if DJ Moore ran the right route, wasn't hurt. Apparently he was hurt throughout the game. They never said anything to anybody. Bears probably should have gotten in trouble for that. But it was a good game. But yeah, if we get to the halfway point, I'll wear a hat. Like I said, you got to supply the hat, though. Ah, yeah. Surprised there's 7 of you guys still here. Just watching me wait for questions. Um, yeah. I want to say if the warming trend will continue, I should be able to do a live stream investigation here pretty soon. Uh, I do have an location in mind. We just got to see how the weather gets. We just got to see how it gets. Like I said, if there's no more questions, guys, please, like I said, go check out the Kickstarter. If you can contribute, awesome. If you have to wait till taxes, that's fine. I understand. Hopefully they come in before March. But yeah, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. At least, but at the very least, share it. Let people know this is something worth investing in. This is gonna be huge. If I'm able to do this, it's gonna be huge. Gonna be huge. No cap. No cap, y'all. Man, I wish I knew some more youngster slang. I don't. It's probably a good thing too. All right, y'all. Love you. Peace. Be good. Check out the old videos if you want to see what the pilots are like to kind of get an understanding of what the show will be like. The last video, the Paranormal Studies watch party, go check that out. And as always, keep it spooky. We'll see you guys in the near future. I'll give you guys updates. Bye bye.